It is no secret, I love drugstore makeup. I could spend hours and hours talking about it. In fact, most days I do because I'm either sitting down and filming content for YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, but just in like conversation in life, I feel like it comes up so often. Even if someone doesn't know what I do as my job, I feel like we just naturally get on that topic because a lot of people feel the same way I do. There are just so many good drugstore makeup products, but not just makeup products. There are a ton of amazing, affordable beauty products in general: sunscreen, skincare, hair care, body care. So in today's video, I wanted to highlight some of my absolute go-to products, the things that I've incorporated into my daily routine, and the products that I repurchase over and over. Things that I honestly buy over high-end alternatives that I maybe like or I've wanted to try because these are so good that they really beat out those products for me. So like I said, I have a mix of products to talk about in today's video. I'm very passionate about all of these products. I purchased them all with my own money. I continue to repurchase them when I run out because they're that good. And please, if you have any recommendations in those categories, let me know because I do love your makeup recommendations, but I feel like these types of recommendations don't come up as often on my channel because my channel is more so makeup focused. But if you have skincare you love, body care, hair care, please let me know. Okay, number one, a good sunscreen. Now I do have a couple of favorites for my face. I switch them up. I mean, most of them are on the more affordable side, but I definitely tend to prefer Korean formulas overall. So most of those are not found at the drugstore here in the US, but there is a body sunscreen that I love that I have used all summer. So I decided to pick this one up because I was specifically looking for a sunscreen that was not a spray-on sunscreen. I wanted like an actual lotion-like sunscreen because just in my mind, I feel like I can ensure more adequate sun protection if I'm actually applying it to my body and I can see it going on in an even layer. I also didn't want something that smelled like a typical sunscreen or felt like a greasy sunscreen, which I feel like that's a lot to ask when it comes to a body sunscreen. Not a face sunscreen because there are so many good formulas, but I just hadn't tried anything in years that I absolutely loved. I know now that this is a very popular sunscreen and I know about the brand Vacation, but for some reason in my mind, when I saw this, I didn't put it together that this was the brand that made like those viral whipped cream sunscreens. People do really love this formula. I definitely just picked it up because it says right on the front, the world's best smelling sunscreen. It says that it's the scent of summer with coconut, banana, aloe vera. So that was a big selling point for me. I swear it said somewhere on here that it wasn't greasy, but I don't see that anywhere. So I don't know if I made that up. I think it was just the fact that it said like classic lotion. Just all of the claims definitely pulled me in and I was like, I'll try it out. It definitely gives the skin a little bit of a glow. Like it doesn't completely sink in and dry down to a matte finish. But honestly, compared to like pretty much any other body sunscreen I've tried, this one is significantly better. We took the kids to Legoland as like an end of the year summer celebration, and it was in New York State. So, I mean, it's not like the Legoland in Florida where it's so super hot outside, but it was still very hot. I think it was like 90 degrees. And honestly, I just slathered all of us in this product. But for me personally, I felt like my skin just didn't feel super slippery, super greasy, even though it was extremely hot outside and we were outside all day long. Like I loved it for that purpose. I love it for daily wear because it's super comfortable, moisturizes my skin. It doesn't smell bad, doesn't feel extremely greasy. It's good. I used it up fully multiple times this summer because I use it for the whole family and it's a great option. This definitely protects my skin. I'm almost embarrassed to tell this story because I'm very, very serious about sun protection. I haven't gotten a sunburn in years, but for whatever reason, like one of the first times I tried this, we were at the pool with the kids and I was applying it. I applied it to like my neck, my chest, my arms, and then I think one of the kids ran off. So I like ran after them, forgot to apply it to my back, and my back actually did get a little bit of a sunburn that day. I was so mad at myself. I'm still mad at myself because I haven't had that happen for years, but that's when I knew this product worked because the rest of my skin was super well protected. Another summertime essential for me, just used this up. So one bottle lasted me most of the summer and I repurchased it. It's from Tanologist. It's the Firming Daily Glow Body Lotion. It has been years since I've used like a gradual tanning lotion. It's been more than years. It's been a million years. I think the last experience I had with a product like this was back in junior high when I used the Jergens Daily Lotion. And I don't know if they still make that. I'm sure they do, but my memory of that product is that it did work well, but it had such a strong scent to the point where like even when you would wash it off, like the scent just lingered. Anyway, I picked this up at Walmart, I think in the beginning of the summer because I was like, let me try something like that again. I like the idea of self tanner, but I want something pretty natural and I don't want it to be like an entire routine. I don't want to have to exfoliate my whole body, apply the self tanner, make sure it's not streaky, wash my hands off really thoroughly, let it dry, rinse it off, and then still end up looking orange. It's really not that intense of a process, but in my mind, I've just made it up to be this really long, drawn out process. So for years, I've avoided self tanner because I'm like, I don't want to be bothered with it. So anyway, this summer, I was like, let me try something different. Let me try this lotion. And this is such a game changer. It gives you a very subtle, very natural, gradual tan with very minimal effort. All you do is apply this like you would a normal daily body lotion. And then over a couple of days, you get a gradual tan. So for me, after about 3 days, I feel like I reach like my ideal tan, I guess, and then I'll use it like every other day, every 2 days to maintain. This never, ever, ever looks streaky. I don't know if that's the case with the Jergens one or if that was the case with the Jergens one. Again, it's been such a long time, but this doesn't look streaky at all. It is truly effortless, which is what I love. It also doesn't look orange. Whenever I would use this product pretty regularly and I'd see someone, they're like, oh, you look really tan. Were you outside? Were you on vacation? And it was just due to this product. It's obviously not as intense as like a true self tanner, like the Saint Tropez tanner or, whatever other brand. I'm not sure if Tanologist makes like a typical tanner, but if you want something very subtle, this is a great option. It really wouldn't even look streaky around like my elbows, my knees. I do recommend obviously washing your hands after using it, but I never had any issues all summer long. The only time I ended up with orange hands is when I used like their self tanning drops that you can mix in with moisturizer, and I forgot to like wash between my fingers really, really well. That product did turn my hands orange, but this product, never any issues. I just made sure to wash my hands after using it. Let's talk about a few skincare products. I have repurchased this product for years and years and years. Like it's probably one of my most repurchased beauty products of all time. And there was a time period where I preferred a cleansing balm. I don't know, like I like a cleansing balm for my face, but whenever I use a cleansing balm on my eyes, it either doesn't take my makeup off completely or I get this weird kind of like foggy effect on my eyes. And I can't get it off no matter what. There are some that don't do that, but in the end, I usually prefer this product because it removes all of my makeup. It's the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. I like the waterproof version. They have like the regular version. They have one that has, I think, like hyaluronic acid. They have a ton of options, but the waterproof one, in my opinion, is the best if you're wearing like hard to remove eye makeup, full coverage foundation, a lot of sunscreen. It just takes everything off. This does have a little bit of a greasier texture compared to the original one. Or I guess just compared to like a lot of micellar waters in general, but I think that's what actually cuts through like all of the makeup, all of the sunscreen, because just a little bit of this goes such a long way. I'll just pour it onto a washcloth, use it to remove my makeup. Sometimes I'll like wet the washcloth and then gently use it to remove my eye makeup, and it comes off easily every single time. This is the one that I just used up last night. There's like a tiny little bit. I actually have to go to the store. Actually, my husband, he's out with the kids. They're at the park and they're going to the store after this. I need to text him to see if he can grab me one because I don't have a backup of it. And there are time periods where like I'm out of it and then I forget to repurchase it. And I'm like, what do I do? Like, how do I remove my makeup? I have other methods. Like I have some cleansing balms on hand, but I always feel like I have to have this, especially to remove my eye makeup. So love this product. If you're looking for like a good staple micellar water, this is really just my absolute favorite. I can't say I've ever really been super loyal to specific cleansers. I like to switch it up when it comes to cleanser, depending on the time of the year, what my skin is like at that moment. There are a couple that I end up going back to over and over, but I've never really had like one specific cleanser where I'm like, that is my favorite. I'm not reaching for anything else until recently. I picked this up because I saw Taylor Margaret talking about this probably a while ago. I want to say over on Instagram. And I was like, that actually sounds great. And when I needed a new cleanser, I decided to try it and I love it. It's from the brand Prequel. I haven't tried any of their other skincare products, but after trying this, I'm definitely curious to. So this is the what's the official name? I think it's called their Gleanser, their non-drying glycerin cleanser. It says that it's meant for the face and the body, and it's supposed to be super moisturizing. Now, this has a lot of really interesting claims. It's fragrance-free, hypoallergenic, it's suitable for all skin types, safe for eczema-prone skin, which I do have. And then I think I saw that it's also ideal if you have rosacea, which I don't have, but I do have extremely sensitive skin. And I've told you this before, but like sometimes when I'll use certain active ingredients, my skin will just freak out, especially my neck. Like it's kind of red right now. I just have very, very sensitive skin. And like I said, my skin is eczema prone. So sometimes I have to be careful about which products I use. This product is ultra hydrating. It is so gentle, so thin. It kind of has this like silky, smooth texture to it. It is, I don't know if I said this, it is 50% glycerin, which is a very hydrating ingredient. So if you have dry skin or combo skin, or you just like an ultra hydrating formula, this might actually be a great cleanser for you. It also has some other ingredients that are meant to soften the skin. They say it's supposed to boost suppleness and just soothe the skin. And I really do find that it feels great on my skin when it's, perfectly fine, but also when it's sensitive, when it's irritated, when it's red. It just is such a great cleanser. I've actually been using it in the morning and at night for probably like the last month or two. I don't know exactly how long I've had this. It feels like the never-ending bottle because this is a lot of cleanser. I don't know if any of my other face cleansers have come with this much product. It comes with 13.5 fluid ounces. So initially I was like, do I want to buy this? Because if I don't like it, I'm stuck with a lot of product. Thankfully, I love it. And you just need a small amount. I use like not even a full pump. So I feel like I'm going to have this on hand forever, even though I am using it in the morning and at night. And typically, before using this product, I would use separate cleansers, like one in the morning, one at night. But honestly, I haven't had the desire to reach for anything else after trying this because it's just a good, gentle, perfect formula for morning or night, no matter what my skin is like, no matter what it's feeling like. So after trying this, I'm definitely curious to try more from the brand. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. But I do have to say thank you to Taylor for recommending this because it is such a great formula and I highly recommend it to you if you're looking for a nice cleanser. Byoma is one of my favorite drugstore skincare brands. They have so many amazing high quality products, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I was kind of late to the game in trying their Hydrating Milky Toner. I think it's because, in my mind, I still have oily skin and my skin can lean oily, but it's definitely more so combo. And for a lot of the year, it actually leans in the dry direction. So I just haven't like fully adjusted to the fact that my skin is not as oily as it used to be. Not that people with oily skin can't benefit from super hydrating products. I feel like I just avoided them for so long. And now I know better. Now I know that even when my skin is more on the oily side, I still need hydrating formulas. Anyway, long story short, I just never got around to trying their Hydrating Milky Toner. For whatever reason, that type of product didn't appeal to me. I finally picked it up because I was quite frankly sick of hearing people talk about it and I wanted to know if it was worth the hype. And I definitely understand. This is such a beautiful formula. And again, if you deal with super red skin, really irritated skin, very sensitive skin, and you want something soothing and gentle and hydrating, this really does make a difference. I use this every single day without fail. And again, I feel like I'm never going to make it through this entire thing. I've had this for months and I swear, I can't tell for sure because I can't see in it how much is actually left, but I swear there's like more than half left. And I'll use it either in the morning or at night, sometimes twice a day, depending on what my skin is like. You just need a super small amount. You can pour it directly into your hand, press it into your skin, and it just leaves your skin feeling so good. Very soothed, very refreshed, but it's also a very hydrating product as well. So usually I'll apply this, wait a few minutes, and then apply whatever other products I want on top. Sometimes just a simple moisturizer, and my skin feels amazing. I did include a moisturizer in today's video, but I do switch up my moisturizer more often than the rest of the products I'm sharing, or like a lot of other products in my skincare routine. But I will say there is one moisturizer that I use super consistently from the drugstore. It is this one from Byoma. The reason why I have so many is because I have an empties bin. So I've been saving all of my empties from 2025 and some of the products I started using in 2024 and then just finished in 2025. But obviously I like this product enough that I have repurchased it super consistently. Now I will say, I think I run through this a little bit faster than I do other moisturizers because It's not incredibly thin, but it's also not like an overly rich formula. So when I'm using this product, I feel like I really like load it on my skin, my face, my neck. And when my skin is so just sensitive or irritated, or I have just like a compromised skin barrier, this is the ideal formula for me because not only is it the perfect texture, it's not super thin and runny. It's also not like a gel cream. It's also not overly thick and rich. It just falls right in the middle. The ingredients feel very calming on my skin. They don't irritate my skin. They lightly moisturize without being too heavy, without being too strong. And it feels very effective, which is why I've gone back to it so many times. Again, some of the key ingredients, a triceramide complex. So it's supposed to restore your skin's natural barrier and then make it stronger. And then it also comes with bakuchiol. I feel like I always say that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the correct pronunciation. It's a plant-derived alternative to retinol, which is so interesting to me because no matter how many times I've tried it, like I just cannot work a retinol into my routine regularly without my skin freaking out. It's not all of my skin. Usually it's my neck. I've talked to my friend Jill about this. She's a licensed medical esthetician. And I'm like, what is the deal? Why can my skin not take it? And we've had like a couple of discussions, but essentially I've just decided to like stop trying to make it work for now. But basically, bakuchiol, why does it feel like I'm saying that wrong? It's supposed to brighten your skin, kind of create like an overall, smoother appearance. So I like that it's included in the moisturizer because again, it doesn't irritate my skin. And I feel like I do see some of those benefits. It's a very smoothing formula. So if I use it in the morning, I feel like my skin overall just looks and feels very smooth before I go in with my sunscreen, my makeup. So it does make a difference. It feels great, such a good formula. I just wish I didn't run through it so quickly because I do feel like I end up repurchasing it more quickly than I might other brands. And I mean, I wish there was like a way to make it refillable or something. I don't know if it is actually more plastic packaging than other brands. It kind of seems like it. And like seeing all of the bottles in front of me just feels like I created a lot of waste. So I wish they either they sold it in a bigger bottle so I didn't have to purchase so many bottles, or they made like a refillable option. I'm not sure what the solution would be. But if you have any other formulas that feel like this, like the way I described it, please let me know because I do have other moisturizers I like, but that is the one I go back to the most consistently. A few hair products. I pretty much use this one every single day, no matter what type of hairstyle I'm doing. If I'm curling my hair, if my hair is more so on the straight side, if I'm slicking back my hair, I'll still use this product. It's from the brand Hairitage. It is the Magic Spell Texturizing Spray. I was actually using a higher end texture spray for a little while. I think the one from Living Proof, which is great. That one works really well, but this one is significantly less expensive. It's under $10. It actually works just as great, but I like this one better because it's a little bit less intense. The Living Proof one is so intense, it almost feels like a hairspray. So it adds a ton of volume, but my hair gets kind of tangly, which I don't love. And this one smells so good. I don't even know how I would really describe this scent. I don't know. It kind of smells like a hair salon. Like it has just like a fresh scent, but it doesn't smell overly powdery. It's made with rice protein, sunflower seed oil, and volcanic ash. So I like this because it does add volume. I mean, my hair is straight today, so I wasn't really going for like a super voluminous look. But what I love to do is like if I style my hair in the morning and then I like put it up because I'm editing, I'm with the kids, I'm doing something outside, and then I'm going back out somewhere at night and I want to refresh my hair, I'll like flip it upside down, spray this all in my hair, really like work it in, flip my hair back around, and I have a ton of volume and it really just refreshes my hair overall. If I'm doing a slick back bun, I'm usually working with like second or third day hair, so it's fallen flat by that point. And what I'll do is like slick my hair back, like tie it off with a rubber band, and then spray this all in the ponytail before like wrapping it into a bun. So it creates like a little bit more texture. It gives me a thicker, just really full bun. And then I'll like pull it apart, and then the bun on the back of my head looks really thick and voluminous. They also say that you can use it as a prep spray to provide grip if you're doing like braids or updos, if you have very fine hair, very silky hair, and you feel like you need more of like that gritty texture, this is great. But I almost hesitate to use the word gritty because that's almost how I would describe the Living Proof one. Like this creates texture and grip without making your hair feel dirty, if that makes sense. So that is the reason why I love it, because it's a less intense version of a texture spray. It adds texture, it adds volume, but it doesn't give your hair like that gritty feeling, and it smells really good and it's affordable. So honestly, I just don't think I'll ever buy like a high-end alternative when something like this exists. Same thing with the Tresemme heat spray. So for a while, I didn't realize Tresemme was cruelty-free. And then I think I was reading a post by Cruelty Free Kitty, and I saw that a couple of brands I didn't realize were cruelty-free are like Tresemme, Dove. There were a few other hair brands. I don't want to like just guess because I'm not sure. I'll find that article and link it in the description box below if there was one specific article. But anyway, after reading that a few years ago, I bought this product again and I loved it. It did such a great job of protecting my hair. And again, on the affordable side, I used mine up fully, and then I was placing an Instacart order for groceries and I added it to my cart because the grocery store sold it, and they actually replaced it with this one, which is a different version. This is the Keratin Smooth Heat Protection Spray. So there are a couple of differences. They're kind of similar, but I think this one actually has some more conditioning oils in it. So I do find that when I use this, I get more of like a smooth, sleek look. Not that this one doesn't give me that, but this one is specifically meant to give you like that smoothed out anti-frizz effect, and I do think it makes a difference. So I've been using this one for the past couple of weeks and I do like it. If you have very fine hair or very like easily weighed down hair, especially when it comes to oils, I might use the original one because this one feels a little bit lighter, whereas this one does feel a little bit more conditioning. But again, if your hair is very fine or prone to, looking greasy, falling flat, you might like this one better. But I've been enjoying this one. I'm glad the person actually replaced it with this. I think they were just out of the original. But again, such a great option. It's affordable. You don't have to pay high-end prices for a heat protection spray if you don't want to, because I do find this one works really well. And I've been making sure for probably like at least the last year, maybe even longer than that, to use a heat protectant every single time I do my hair. There were times I would skip it because I was just a little bit too lazy. And honestly, if my hair is really wet and then I'm spraying something like this all over it, I was like, that kind of negates the point of using a heat protectant because now I need to use my blow dryer even longer. But that's just not true. I noticed significantly more damage, dryness, breakage when I would skip it regularly compared to using it now and maybe blow drying my hair a little bit longer. I also use a different hair dryer. The one I use now doesn't get extremely hot. It's more so like powerful. So it dries your hair using like a higher speed rather than higher heat. Use a heat protectant. Your hair will thank you. I've told you guys this a million times, but probably, oh, it's getting so long. Probably, was it last year or the year before, I was using a crimper, broke my hair off. So like back here, it was like this long, and now it's like finally growing. So I think that was partially my fault for having the heat up too high and also just not protecting my hair with a heat protectant. I was kind of on a high-end shampoo and conditioner kick for a little while. I repurchased the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner for a long time. I think I went through that I probably went through like 5 or 6 sets of that. And I do still like that formula, but I decided to try this one from Dove. I actually just used them up this morning. This is the Dove Intense Repair Damage Therapy Shampoo and Conditioner. I think I actually got this set from Walmart last year during the holiday season. These are 20-ounce bottles. They lasted me forever. I honestly feel like my hair has not felt this good in a very long time. Like throughout the summer, I've noticed that my hair just feels healthy. It looks a little bit healthier. I haven't been using as much heat. I do usually heat style it, and then for like the next 2 days, I might wear it in like a slicked back bun. So I'm usually applying like a good leave-in conditioner, and I feel like that has cut down on heat damage a lot. But I do think like ever since switching to this formula, my hair has felt really, really nice. This is a very lightweight formula, so it doesn't weigh my hair down at all. I find it to be pretty conditioning. Obviously, it's very inexpensive because it's Dove. The claim is very intense. Let me read it specifically for you. So they claim that this uses bioprotein care and glutamic amino serum to stop 98% of visible hair damage due to breakage, which is what was like my big concern. I was dealing with a lot of breakage. And then they also claim that your hair becomes 10 times stronger. It's hard to practically quantify those results. Like, is my hair 10 times stronger? I don't know about that. I do feel like it is stronger. I am dealing with less breakage. Usually I see a lot of breakage up here and then like back here because that's kind of where I was dealing with it anyway. And honestly, I just feel like over the last few months, like it's felt and looked a lot stronger overall. I don't think this formula is meant to be the exact same formula or even like a very close replica of the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner. I was kind of looking into the ingredients and the claims and how they differ and how they're similar. And I think like the main key difference is that Olaplex claims to repair your hair from the inside out, and Dove actually claims to repair your hair from the outside in, which that's maybe simplifying it quite a bit. But I think when I was, really looking into it, because one day I was like, all right, let me sit down and see if this is like a very close alternative. And I don't think it quite is. I think the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner formulas are really intense. So if you're dealing with a lot of damage, like if your hair needs a ton of repair, those might be a little bit more ideal. And like I said, I used those very regularly for months, if not years. I can't remember when I started using them. And I think they did a great job. But honestly, at this point, I feel like my hair is a little bit stronger. So switching to a little bit of a less intense formula has been perfectly fine. And honestly, I think that Dove formula really does a great job. The last thing I wanted to mention is something that I left up in my shower. I'll just put a picture of it on the screen. The Billie Razor. I swear by this product. It works so well. It's very gentle and it's also really inexpensive compared to so many drugstore razor options. As someone with sensitive skin, the Billie Razor is great. I know, well, I guess a lot of razors are kind of designed in a similar way, but essentially it has like this cushion of like a moisturizing ingredients surrounding the razor. So when you shave, at least in my experience, it doesn't irritate my skin. I've also never cut myself using that razor. You can definitely use a shaving cream or a shave oil if you want to, but you don't have to because it has that like built-in moisturizing cushion. If you buy the starter kit, I know it comes with a razor handle, like 2 razor refills, and then also a little magnetic holder that you can just stick to your shower. I stick mine out of the way of the water, and then the razor just magnetizes to it. So it dries very quickly. It stays out of the water. It's just such a good option. And sometimes when I'm like either out of town or I'm like needing to repurchase something and I'm at the store and I haven't just like ordered online, well, now Billie is sold like in actual stores, pretty much everyone that I've gone to. But in the past, I've just grabbed like a random razor, and razors are so expensive. They really, really are. So I like the idea of the Billie one for a lot of reasons. If you're looking for a good option for sensitive skin, something that's very moisturizing, super comfortable, also obviously, shaves well, that's my favorite. So that's everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. I just really wanted to sit down and share some of my most repurchased products, the things that I'm reaching for every single day, and just products I love that I don't really get the chance to talk about as much on my channel because they're not makeup related. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see a video on my favorite drugstore makeup products, the ones that I'm continuously reaching for, I'll link a couple of videos on the screen for you. But otherwise, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.